Traveling on Nigerian roads have become more dangerous because of the activities of kidnappers, armed robbers and bandits. Southwest roads have not been immune to this. These criminals scout for victims from Lagos to Ondo, Osun to Ekiti, Oyo and Ogun states, using every available space, the bush, forest, even abandoned properties as their heaven. The situation got so bad that governors of southwestern states had to call out to security chiefs for help and even held an emergency summit. The region is now set to launch a security outfit codenamed Operation Amotekun. Vigilantes are to be trained to assist the police and other security agents. Will this security strategy bring a lasting solution to the insecurity in that region? Hello and welcome to Crime Watch. I'm Ivy Kano. Now let's bring you some crime stories.
Two persons are lying critically ill at the Federal Medical Center, Yenagoa in Bayelsa State, following gunshot injuries from a trigger-happy mobile policeman identified as Egoli Biakpo. The police officer who fled the scene was later arrested and detained at the Criminal Investigation Department, Yenagoa. The State Commissioner of Police, Uche Anozia, visited the victims, whom are currently receiving treatment at the intensive care unit of the hospital.
Driver parked at the front of, just between the PEP and the transformer, close to Fidelity Bank, and the Mopo guy rushed, met him and said, "Give me your key." The guy said, "For what? Why will I give you my key?" So they started arguing. On the process, the guy went into his car. The Mopo guy that cocked his gun, point at the man, said, "Give me your key." Before you know it, boy! It was the same bullet that pierced the guy. We now rush down to that place to trying to rescue the young man. The Mopo guy now ran away.
Bullet now, as in pierced into the man's throat to my brother's head, direct, and as in my brother's brain is damaged. As we are talking to you now, no money, nothing. My brother's head is spoiled. We need financial help from the police, the bank, and everybody in the society. That is what we need.
They are responding to treatment. I want to let the public know that my sympathy and that of this command and the police force is with the family, friends, and relations of the victims. The deviating police officer, that is the culprit, has been arrested and disarmed. He's detained, and investigation is ongoing, and he will face justice at the end of the day within the law of the land.
The Enugu Police Command is investigating alleged assault of Justice Obasi by 4 policemen, which was captured in a viral video clip. Public Relations Officer of the command, Ebere Amarizu, said the alleged misconduct took place around Kenyatta Uwani axis of Enugu. According to the victim, the officers took his phone and beat him up after he demanded for its return. The police spokesman described the act by the officers as reflected in the said video as unprofessional. He noted that the erring officers had been identified and arrested. The Benue State Police Command has arrested 26 suspects over cases of kidnapping, robbery, and theft. The State Commissioner of Police, Bukandas Gaba, disclosed this during the parade of the suspect at the command headquarters in Makurdi. 205 live ammunition, 1 vehicle, 9 motorcycles were recovered from the suspect during the festive period.
I didn't catch someone to collect bike. I watch you when you park, then I pick it. I didn't collect it physically, as in fighting. No, I watch you when you park, I pick it.
I washed his clothes, so I removed it from his pocket. So the clothes are still inside my room. I never knew it was even, they were even asking for a key because I never knew the key would be of such value.
I'm so sorry to do this thing. He said, "What is that?" He said, "I need this, your bike." He said, "That will not happen. Instead, I should kill him because if I don't kill him, I will not go with this bike. So he started fighting with me, dragging with me. So on the way, that is process of dragging with me, I start fighting him also. That is how I take in him.
Antonio Tubuna, son of the Bayelsa State Commissioner for Water Resources, who was kidnapped on the 22nd of December 2019, has regained his freedom. The 6-year-old boy was rescued in Ikebiri, southern Ijaw local government area of the state, by men of Operation Puff Adder, a special unit of the Bayelsa State Police Command.
Police command who has done the magic wand, because usually when it is when it's a kidnapping incident occurs, it leads to killing and maiming and death. But in this case, I've been able to recover my son without any dime, despite the fact that they asked of 50 million. I didn't pay any dime.
We have been chasing the abductors from one creek to the other, but as God would have it, we have been able to achieve positive results. The child was picked up in a creek in a community called Ikebiri in southern Ijaw local government.
The Osun Police Command have exhumed the body of LASU student Wale Adeoye, who was lured from Ogun State to Ikoile in Osun State by her boyfriend and murdered in cold blood. 3 suspects were arrested by the police last week, including a mother, her son, and a pastor who allegedly facilitated the killing of the young lady in his church. They confessed to have committed the crime in their search of wealth in local parlance, popularly known as money ritual.
Wale Adeoye was studying theatre arts at the Lagos State University before she met her death, and parts of her body severed and mutilated on the 8th of December last year. Her alleged killers, who include a pastor and a mother and son, were arrested. The Osun State Commissioner of Police led his officers and men to the place where her remains were buried. After about 40 minutes, they exhumed the corpse from this well-like grave for autopsy. One of the suspects, who claimed to be her boyfriend, Wale Adeoye, confessed that the victim left Mowe in Ogun State for Ikoyi in Osun State, but exonerated his mother.
My parents, my mom did not know. The evil act was just carried out between both of us, because my parents was not even sleeping here. They were at the hotel. So it was both of us that we do sit. That how can he help my parents? Then he raised the suggestion and I was lured into it.
The lady in question, for how long have you known her?
Just a month now.
Her mother, whom they allegedly perpetrated the crime on her behalf, claims she never knew they would kill human being to prepare a concussion for her. This is another suspect and a pastor. He is the founder, Solution Salvation Chapel, the church where Wale Adeoye was killed. He has 2 wives and 3 children. He confessed to the crime.
Sometimes he will involve part of woman being. I say, where do we sell it? And I say, I don't know where that's it because I never do it before. So anybody that wanted to do this thing, he will produce the part. Now tell me, say, no problem. Say, he can call in girlfriend. So when they call in girlfriend, now come here. We now use pencil piece to knock her head. So I now cut the head and bread and heart and the 2 hands.
She just received the call. Actually, she was writing her exam and she came home for 1 or 2 things. And she was supposed to return to school a day after she left home. The mother tried persuading her to wait, but immediately she received the call, she just said she's going. So probably maybe the mother thought something urgent came up in school. They had to let her go.
The Commissioner of Police said the force will pursue the case to a justifiable conclusion to ensure parents of the deceased get justice.
Some murder, the whole thing is quite horrible, and we as law enforcement agents will not fold our arms and watch lawless citizens taking laws into their hands, destroying other people's lives, killing, outright killing of a human being is unlawful. It remains unlawful, and it cannot be tolerated in any society.
The Commissioner of Police admonished parents to ensure they keep close watch on their children in higher institutions to avoid being lured into traps by criminal elements. The police also visited the hotel where the lady was lodged in Ikoyile before she was taken to where she was killed. The remains have been taken to Lagos by police homicide experts for autopsy.
Crime Watch will be tracking that particular story. Now, it's no longer business as usual for economic saboteurs involved in oil bunkering. The Nigerian Navy has handed over 57 Nigerians, 7 Sri Lankans, and 2 Ghanaians suspected to be involved in the crime to the EFCC. A total of 7 vessels with no valid approval has been arrested in the last 1 month by the Nigerian Navy ship Beecroft, Lagos.
These vessels were all arrested with various quantities of product without valid approval. These illegal activities are the works of unpatriotic and criminally minded Nigerians and their collaborators.
Thus, the commandant of NNB Croft, Commodore Ibrahim Shetima, setting the pace for what the day holds. It was a long boat ride as officials of EFCC, Department of Petroleum Resources, alongside journalists, headed to see the vessels and the suspects. First port of call was MT Zeebrugge with Sri Lankan crew. It was important that samples are taken, and that DPR officials did. The chief engineer of the vessel, who spoke on behalf of other 7 suspects, appeared to have difficulty in communicating, but we were able to get few important answers like who his employers were.
What's the name of the company?
Valley Maritime.
Valley
SA.
Where is the company? Here in Nigeria or?
Greece, not here. Greece. This vessel first time I able to here because 3,300 nautical mile I am navigate from there to here. And after they say to okay wait, and after say to go this.
MT Jonko had on board an all-Nigerian crew who were arrested on December 19th last year with over 1,000 metric tons of crude oil.
Yes, after receiving the cargo, I was going to Lome. And the specification of the cargo is LPFO. In the other word, they call it Bonnie Light.
Where did you receive the cargo from?
I received the cargo from the 170 miles between Nigeria and Cameroon and Nigerian waters.
The Navy says it's determined to extend the fight from creeks to high sea to deny criminals the freedom of acquiring and selling products to their local and foreign clients.
After diligent interrogation and investigation, it was revealed that most of the vessels were en route neighboring countries with their illegally acquired product. Specifically, 4 vessels were going to Ghana, while 2 are going to Togo. These vessels are in the process of being handed over to the EFCC for prosecution accordingly.
Reactions have continued to trail the regional joint security outfit Operation Amotekun, scheduled to be launched on the 9th of January in the 6 southwest states with the aim of ridding the region of criminal activities. Some have argued that the time isn't ripe for such operation, considering the country's high record of human rights abuses. Some query the workability of the combined operation of vigilantes and security operatives. Now joining me on the show to review the security strategy is Wale Adeoye. He's a conflict prevention advocate who has been following the development. Is this arrangement an answer to the call for state police?
I don't think it's the direct alternative to state policing. I think it's just an effort to complement what the police and other intelligence agencies are already doing. In terms of the structure, in terms of the ownership, it cannot be described as state police. But I think it's not a step backward, even though it may not be so many steps forward.
Okay.
So I think in reality, the state governors are trying to create a kind of acid test in terms of inclusion of local communities, in policing their environment. If you look at the figure that will be involved, it's just 1,200 people. So that's just across the 6 states.
Okay.
So an average of maybe 250
from each state.
From each state.
Okay.
So that's not even up to 2 platoons. In terms of the United Nations police ratio, that probably can protect about maybe 100,000 people in a state like Ekiti, for instance, that has a population of 3.5 million. In Lagos State, that's less than about 3% of the 35,000 policemen that we have in Lagos.
Yeah.
So it's actually a drop in the ocean, but in reality it's a drop anyway. So I think the governors decided to, come up with that agenda, to empower the people, to make them to be involved in terms of providing security for their people. But I think there's been a kind of narrative that has to be corrected. I personally don't see it as a kind of organization set up to counter herdsmen. I think basically the focus is on crime prevention.
Okay.
And crime is not limited to herdsmen carrying arms and killing people. We have courtesan, we have rape, we have violence, that's very common on our streets these days. We have burglary, we have high-tech crime. So I think these are the things we have, even murder that is taking place all over the country. So I think we need to get it right, that it's not just an organization set up to counter, it's not an ethnic militia.
Okay.
It's a professional organization that we hope can make impact in terms of providing security for everyone that lives in the Southwest, including non-Yoruba people.
Okay, now I've heard some rumor that the police, the army are not very comfortable with having to go to a joint patrol with this set of people, and I'm saying already you have, rivalry between the army, police, and the rest. The official addition of these people, don't you think the rivalry is going to blow out of proportion? Because if anything happens, they can easily betray themselves. How do you see, them being able to manage this?
Well, I read the story. I think it's a mole, out of a hill. It's not actually. It's a storm in the teacup, because when you read that story, there was no citation to any authority, either the IG, the Commissioner of Police, saying that they're not going to work with the Agbekoya or with the OPC or with the OLM that may be involved in these organizations. And in reality, the police consistently has worked with these organizations, the Vigilante, the OPC,
especially in
OLM,
Lagos,
the COSEC members in Lagos, and in fact elsewhere. Okay. So it's a myth to think that they cannot work together. Most of the operations they carry out, going to arrest people in the bush and all that, the local vigilantes are always there to provide support. So I don't think there's any there's no statement of authority or a policy direction saying that the civil defense, the army will not work, with the new outfit. I think they have to work together, because in reality, policing, can only make meaning if organizations, even apart from Amotekun and water, the mechanics needs to work with the police. If cars are stolen, they need to give information to the police. Journalists need to work, with if they have information that can be relevant to the police, they need to give that information. NURTW, who drive across highways, if there's any crime, they need to pass that information, so the police cannot claim that they can't work with organized social formations. That's in every developed society. It has always been the tradition, that they have to work, with this organization. Now they say that there's a problem of training, that because they are not trained. Training is just an aspect of security. What is important is integrity, knowledge of the environment, of the sociology, of the culture, of the heritage of the people that you are protecting. Then we talk about empathy. We must have empathy. Those are some of the functions of, when we are talking about policing. And also we are talking about law enforcement and crime prevention. You don't need to be specially trained. Training is very important, but somebody is not trained does not mean that that person cannot prevent crime.
Exactly.
So I think training is just a technical aspect, but it's not the only requirement for anybody to be involved in security. There are so many other aspects that our local people can offer their indigenous knowledge in terms of their livelihood and in terms of crime prevention in their local communities.
I was going to, I don't know, I was going to ask about background checks for these few people that will be, infused into security, what we already have. Now, who are those? Have they thought about those that will carry out these background checks on them? Because, well, any criminal can also offer to work with the police. He becomes an insider. So, one thing that I think is extremely important is the background check.
Yes.
Has that been thought about? Has that been, taken care of?
The development agenda for Western Nigeria, which was established around 2010, is saddled with the responsibility of recruiting people from the 6 states.
Okay.
In my discussion with the Director General, he gave me the assurance that anyone coming in will be screened. They need to know the background. They need to know where they come from. They need to know the sociology of people they want to recruit. They need to know their temperament. They even need to know about their social life. If you are, you love football a lot, then if Arsenal is playing, then you can't be on the field at that particular moment. Okay. Or maybe you smoke, and even their health conditions. So I think these are very key issues that people need, and even whether probably they have history of crime. So I think these are very important things so that you don't end up recruiting criminals. But in reality, these are concepts, these are theories. It is now left for the governors to ensure that they accept these theories being made available to them, so that on their own they can accept the scientific proposition and they do not bastardize the program and turn it into a political outfit.
Now let's bring you some safety tips to adopt against kidnapping while on the road.
Important travel safety tips you should know. Write down emergency info. If disaster strikes, there will be no time to search for numbers of police or ambulance services. You will also be too stressed and panicky to think straight. Lock up your valuables. Traveling with anything valuable is usually a bad idea. Your job is to minimize easy opportunities for theft. Ask locals for advice. If you really want to know which neighborhood is safe, ask a resident of the area. It's also wise to get a second opinion. Don't share too much with strangers. Making your itinerary more public on social media can be a roadmap of your movements. It's a sort of thing someone with ill intentions would love to know. Beware of your clothing. The wrong clothes scream. It makes you a target for scammers and thieves. The less obviously you look, the less attention you get from wrong people. travel in numbers. The more people around you, the more eyeballs are on your valuables. Trust your instincts. This is incredibly important. You're a walking surveillance network. Your body sees and hears more things than you could process.
Well, that's our package this week. You can follow us on all social media platforms at TVC News NG using the hashtag CrimeWatch. I'm Ivy. See you next time.